What is going on, everyone? My name is No Pun Intended, and welcome to coverage of my Week 6 battle for the PCL. If you guys enjoy my Draft League content, please make sure to leave a like or a comment on this video, and I do mean that sincerely because it would be nice, and I would appreciate it. But it is time to get down to business, because we're playing the team with the best record in the league after 5 weeks. That being JBWestside and his Colorado Bouffalants. He has 4-1 on the season. His team is mighty terrifying because it's bulky offense, and I really hate playing against bulky offense kind of teams. He also has Suicune, who is the one non-S tier mon that I think my squad has the worst matchup against overall. But we'll see how I prep around it when we get into my team builder once again. So, starting things off for this team, we have a Ground EMZ Dual Dance Landorus Therian. It's basically the same sort of set that I brought in Week 1 against Gray that I didn't get to work, and maybe this time it'll actually do something. I find Edgewig is very good against his team because his grass type is a Meganium, which is barely a Pokemon. And I feel as though I handle his Donphan very well with the rest of my team, such as with my Greninja. It's running Toxic Spike so that if a Donphan comes in and tries to spin them away, I can at least get some residual damage on it. And if he brings Crobat, then I can also punish that with the Landorus. It's running Focus Sash in case of a Galvantula lead. I'd rather it not die in one hit so that I can potentially kill it off with a combination of Dark Pulse and maybe a Water Shuriken at the end. But it's basically going to be my lead for this game, and I don't want it to die in one hit, so that's why it's a Focus Sash. Aegislash does not need a Focus Sash, namely because it'll rarely die in one hit. I'm running the same defensive leftover set that I've run pretty much every single week. Just throwing on Destiny Bond is a fun move that I don't think I'll ever use, but it's there. Next up is Rotom Mow. The main reason why this mon is coming is because I need some kind of a way to check a bulky Calm Mind Suicune. I'm running Psych Up just in case either Suicune or Necrozma will try to set up Calm Minds. In that case, I can copy their special attack and special defense boost and hit them decently hard. And if the Necrozma is a physical attacking variant, I can go for Foul Play, and after Rocks, it should be able to kill a Necrozma in one hit, as long as he's at +2 attack. This is basically just my anti-setup measure. I don't really want to bring Ditto to this game because I feel as though Substitute is a likely bring on at least one of his setup sweepers, so let's avoid that if we can. Speaking of setup sweepers, we have 3 attacks SD Licky Licky. One thing I noticed about JB's team, doesn't have a single fighting type on it. I feel as though I can take advantage of that with a mon whose only weakness is fighting, and so he has to run coverage in order to hit it. But I don't really mind that too much because that limits his moveset against the rest of the mons on my team. Otherwise, it's just Facade as Stab, Hammer Arms hit Tyranitar, and Knock Off as something to hit Chandelure. And finally is Seismitoad, who I accidentally sent the wrong set to my Jenner, and so it's pretty gimped, if you ask me. I brought a minus attack nature with Earthquake and Ice Punch originally, and I realized this about 15 minutes before I was supposed to play the game, so I'm like, damn. Well, let's change it to Earth Power, so at least I have some ability to hit JB's mons. And it especially helps because most of his team is actually more physically defensive, so even though my attack and special attack stats are rather equal by comparison, I feel as though Earth Power will be able to do overall more damage to the mons that I want Seismitoad to check, which especially is a Suicune, so it can't just run a mono water type attacking Calm Mind set, as well as mons like Mega Mawile. Well, I chose to run Ice Punch so that Salamence could not set up on me. The low tier mons are definitely going to get a lot of playing time this week. Otherwise, the big observations I noticed about JB's team prior to the game, no Crobat, so perhaps not bringing Medicham and Infernape was a bad idea, but he still has Necrozma who can juggle them pretty well anyway. Also, don't have to worry about Sticky Webs, which is nice, even though I do have a mostly slow team. Greninja would very much appreciate the speed control that it has. So here comes Week 6. I'm going to start off by leading with my Greninja, and JB leads with the Donphan. So what does that make me? Like 5 for 5 on predicted lead matchups? Actually, this Greninja was like a designated lead, so I'm not even sure it counts. So we'll just ignore that for now. But what I can potentially do is just get up a Toxic Spike here as JB brings in the Suicune. This is looking very familiar, isn't it? The same exact thing happened in Week 3. A bulky water is not a good switch into a Greninja, especially if it carries Toxic Spikes, because that's just free entry hazards. Thank you, my good man. I will take that every day of the week. But now I'm just going to switch out of Greninja because it can't really deal direct damage to the Suicune. I'm going to pivot into my Rotom Mow. He expects me to go into Seismitoad because it has the water immunity, but I wanted to throw him off a little bit there, and he does reveal that the Suicune has HP Grass. This probably should have been something I kept in mind for later on in the game, but I didn't really think anything of it. I thought it's like a defensive Suicune that just so happens to have a move to hit Seismitoad, so that's fine. He does switch out here, So that's really, really okay for me. I can just go for Volt Switch because I know he's not going to bring in the Donphan on a potential Leaf Storm, and otherwise he has no real way to stop me from getting off a little damage on his Mons and switching out into my Licky. I know Licky is fat, so it can take pretty much any hit from a non-setup variant Necrozma, and the fact that he's toxic means that he's going to be very hard pressed to set up in this situation. I, however, have no problems with setting up with my Licky. I'm just going to click the Swords Dance here because I'm not really sure what Mon is his counterplay of his Licky, and he actually ends up switching out into the Donphan, which I'm not very confident can actually kill me that easily. So now I'm at +2 attack, and I think here I just go for, I believe I just go for the Facade here, because I am at +2, and I go for Knockoff. Yeah, I go for Knockoff to take off the leftovers or whatever item he might have, just in case he's a Rocky Helmet, so I don't take any unnecessary damage on my Licky. What I do after that, though, is just to repeatedly attack it with Facade. I probably should have gone for at least one more Sword Dance here before I killed off the Donphan, because that extra power would have helped against a lot of the bulkier members of JB's team, but I really wasn't thinking that far ahead. It's probably something I should keep in mind for future games, but at the time that I had this battle, I was dead set on killing whatever Mon was in front of me, no matter what. And so I am going to be able to take out the Donphan with another Facade. However, right now it's only going to matter in the fact that this Salamence is a bit more of a threat, and that it is able to get off an Intimidate on me, which reduces me to +1 attack, which means that my Licky's power is greatly reduced, but it's just something you gotta deal with. I'm just gonna go for another Swords Dance, because I'm not entirely sure what this Salamence can do to me immediately off the bat, and I'm able to get now up from +1 to +3, so as he goes for the Substitute here, this is pretty clearly an anti-Ditto measure, but I'm actually okay with it, because the Mence is gonna lose a little bit of HP, and that will give me a better chance to actually kill it with the next attack after I break the Substitute with Facade. He's just going to go for the Dragon Claw, get off a little bit of damage, but Mence doesn't have a lot of immediate power until it sets up, so it doesn't really do a whole lot. I'm not too worried about it at this point. I'm just going to go for yet another Facade. I'm hoping that I might be able to take out the Mence as he sets up, especially after he sets up the Dragon Dance. I'm like, okay, come on, Licky. I know you can do this. I know you can do this. I believe in you. You may be my tier 5, but I believe in you. I know you can handle this. So I go for the Facade. I see the life bar go down, and he lives on like 1 HP, and I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Oh, that's just awful. It's just like a huge swing of events, because if I killed that Mence, that might have been the most epic play of this entire season so far. Now Licky has to take the Z move. It's not like I can really even switch out. There's nothing else I want to take a strong attack from a +1 Salamence. And I'm thinking to myself, really, Licky? Why couldn't you have just gotten the kill? Would have made things so much easier. Ugh. But at the very least, Licky does survive the Tectonic Rage at 17 health. I'm able to get off another Facade, and I do kill off the Salamence, which is great and fantastic and awesome. The only problem is that now my Licky is in range of pretty much any one of his attacks from any one of his Pokemon, so unfortunately Licky's Reign of Terror is going to stop at 2 kills, but for my tier 5, that's not too bad, actually. Certainly did a lot more in this battle than most of your tier 5s would have done in any other battle, so I'm proud of that. What this means, however, is that I am going to go into my Seismitoad, even if he's an offensive Channeler. An Energy Ball shouldn't kill me because I'm holding the Rindo Berry, and I'm hoping that he falls for the bait, and that I can kill off the Shandy, because it has a lot of special attack, and I don't really have very many switch-ins to it now that my Licky is dead. But he is instead just going to switch out into the Necrozma. That's still kind of fine, because even though Seismitoad can't deal that much damage to Necrozma, the poison damage is going to wear it down little by little every turn. And that, combined with the damage from Seismitoad's Earth Powers, will add up. But every single turn he does go for Moonlight. He is restoring a little bit of HP, so he's getting a bit more cushion against the damage that I'm dealing to him with my Seismitoad. And eventually he's getting up to a range of health where he's comfortable going for a Photon Geyser, but it's still only a 3-hit KO at best for him. And after he goes for that Photon Geyser, he's forced to Moonlight again. And considering that Moonlight only has a 8 PP max, and my Earth Power has 10 PP, because I forgot to PP max it before I went into the battle, he's still probably not gonna have a healthy Necrozma at the end of this arrangement. So he's gonna decide eventually, you know what, it's not worth it for Necrozma to keep going for Moonlight at the risk of the Spadef drop or a crit or whatever, and he's just going to click Photon Geyser the second time. Seismitoad's down to about a third of its health, but I do get off the Earth Power and kill Necrozma. But that Mon wasn't really that threatening to my team. Chandelure certainly is. Honestly, I felt okay with sacking my Seismitoad even though I couldn't get out my Stealth Rocks, which maybe I should have done, but the way this battle was progressing, I felt as though my bigger prerogative was to just repeatedly attack his Mons and not let up off the offense gas pedal. Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't, but I'm just going to keep it in the video because I don't care anymore. That's what happens when your first recording gets corrupted. Anyway, I'm going to go back into my Greninja. I'm just going to go for the Dark Pulse again. JB makes the rather obvious switch into the Suicune, but it's like, I'm not scared of Suicune. It could set up all it wants to, but I still have the Rotom with the Yachi Berry in the back, just in case he goes for the Ice Beam. He instead just clicks Scald. That's kind of an obvious play. I don't get burned, which is very nice for my Rotom's longevity, and now I can just click Volt Switch again, as JB does not have any electric immunities remaining on his team. He instead switches back into Chandelure. It takes a bit of damage. I can now go back into my Greninja, and I'm not worried about the Chandelure being scarfed, because I still have the Focus Sash, and JB has failed to get hazards up on my side of the field, so even if he does go for the Energy Ball and outspeeds me here, I live on 1, I'm able to go for a Dark Pulse, and the Chandelure is no longer a threat because it's dead. And listen, every death has a story. My goal is just to get as much damage off of my opponent's team as I possibly can every single turn. I'm not going to give JB a break here, not even if he goes into the Mega Mawile. I know that weakening the Mawile is going to be very helpful, and that's why I clicked Water Shuriken here, but I actually get very lucky because I snagged 5 hits with the Shuriken. One of them is a crit, and then JB goes for Sucker Punch, which fails because my Water Shuriken out-prioritized his Sucker Punch because Greninja is naturally faster. So I could just go for another Water Shuriken here and kill him, but I thought that might be a bit unfair. And besides, I can just go for a Toxic Spike here. Suicune is probably the bigger threat to my team than a 20% Mega Mawile. And the way the game's going, the poison damage might be the difference between winning and losing. But right now I'm going to go into my Aegislash because I feel as though it can't beat a setup Suicune, so no sense in keeping it around. It does manage to survive a knockoff from Mega Mawile, just barely though, like, my goodness. But that's why it's an S tier, and it's able to kill the Mawile with a Shadow Ball. Final Mon for JB is going to be that Suicune I mentioned earlier, and this whole time I've been thinking it's a Calm Mind variant with HP Grass and Scald. But then he goes for the Ice Beam here, and I'm like, 3 attacks? This thing is scarfed, isn't it? Then my next thought is, did I just throw this game? And then I realized, wait, no I didn't. Even though Landorus dies automatically to Ice Beam, my Rotom has a Yachi Berry, so no matter how much special attack investment his Suicune has, it can't kill me. Even if he gets a crit with the Ice Beam, it can't kill me. The only way he can get a win is if he pulls off the freeze. So, he's going to click Ice Beam here. Rotom's going to survive. Does he get the freeze? He does not, and we're able to go for the Volt Switch. We knock out the Suicune, and there's win number 4 for the Philadelphia Aegislash in PCL Season 1. It's a 2-0 victory over the Colorado Bouffalants. Good game to JB. His roster was very, very scary, as I mentioned earlier, but it was sort of gimped by the fact that he didn't feel he could bring setup against my team, except for his Dragonair Salamence. Otherwise, my Rotom and the threat of Ditto made it a bad idea for him to attempt that strategy, and unsurprisingly, he didn't do that. So, advantage me on that one. But with that victory, we are now tied for the best record in the league. Of course, we have the worst differential of all the teams that are 4-2, but let's ignore the technicalities here. It's been a big season for me. I am glad to see that the team is working out very well, and hopefully there are more wins where that came from. But I want to thank you all so much for watching and for your support across the season. Please make sure to leave a like or a comment on the video. Subscribe to my channel for more of my Draft League content. Check out the links to JB and all the other coaches. They'll be available in the description. And until I see you next time, take care.